Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all safe and healthy. So today I'm visiting the Lexus showroom here in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia to take a look at the all new 2022 Lexus NX. So Lexus have totally revamped the NX from the inside and out, and in this video I'll let you know everything that Lexus have done to the NX itself, and in the end I'll let you know my opinions on it as well. And I just wanted to say thanks to Mr. Abdul Rahman, who is a sales consultant in the Lexus showroom that I'll be visiting today. He is the one who helped me get access to the Lexus NX for making the video today. So I just wanted to say that if you're watching this video from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, and you have any inquiries regarding any of the Lexus vehicles, so you can just go ahead and directly contact Mr. Abdul Rahman. I'll leave all his contact details down in the description below, and I just wanted to give him a big thanks for helping me out. And if you're new to the channel, guys, do leave a like and do subscribe to the channel as well, and do turn on your notifications so that you'll be the first ones to know when I upload later videos. And now let's go ahead and take a look at the NX.
So here it is, guys, the 2022 Lexus NX, and this one is the 350h. In Saudi Arabia we only get two models, the 350 and the 350h. So the 350h is obviously the hybrid model, and the 350 is the one which has the new engine, the 2.4 liter turbo inline 4, and this one is the 2.5 liter hybrid, which I'll talk about later. But first, before we talk about the design and the price itself, I'll just tell you about the NX. So the NX is basically a small size luxury SUV from Lexus, and its main competitors include like the BMW X3, the GLC, Cadillac XT4, the Acura RDX, and Infiniti QX50 as well. One thing I've read in a lot of articles is that the NX is a bit smaller than the German rivals, and in size comparison it is almost equal to something like the Acura RDX, but it is bigger than the other German small SUVs like the GLA and the BMW X1. So basically, in terms of size, you can think it fits in the middle of both of those classes. But in most of the articles that I have read, the main competitors listed for the NX are the X3, Q5 and the GLC, those type of luxury SUVs. Before we go ahead and talk about the design again, I just wanted to talk about the trims that you get in Saudi Arabia. So in Saudi Arabia, the 350h, like this one, comes in three different variants. So we have the AH, then we have the BH Hybrid Plus, then we have the HH Hybrid Executive. So that will be the top of the line model with all the bells and whistles, and this one over here, the AH, is the base model for the 350h. And if you go for the 350 model, you also get again three trims. So you get the Elegant, then you get the Excellence, and then you have directly the F Sport. Unlike other markets, we don't get the 450h Plus and the 250 as well. We only get the 350 and the 350h. So now that's out of the way, let's talk about the price, and here it is. So this is the base model, like I told you, and it is 216,000 riyals, and I'll convert it into dollars for you guys. Just keep in mind, cars in Saudi Arabia are a bit more expensive when compared to their US and European counterparts due to the import taxes and VAT. Now all that is out of the way, let's talk about the design. And when you look at it and compare it with the previous NX, I think this is a radical design change. Lexus have totally overhauled the exterior design and also the interior, which we'll talk about later. The new NX basically is also has something called the Global Architecture Chassis or platform. It shares that with the new RAV4 as well, and this platform will be used in many other models that Lexus will be bringing out later. It includes all the new technology on the interior side of things as well, which I'll show you later on in the video. But now the design. So the front of the design, I think, is one of the best looking angles of this car after the rear, because on the previous NX, this L daytime running light that you can see over here was outside the headlight cluster, and I think the previous NX, although not bad looking, it wasn't one of the best looking as well. But I think this new design change that Lexus have done, where they are integrating the LED into the headlight cluster, I think is one of the best design language that they have till date. And this one has the single beam LED headlights. If you go for the higher trim levels, you get the triple beam LED headlights as well, but this one has the standard one. After the headlights, the new change is the grille. So the grille design has changed totally, and you can see this pattern over here. I think you can sort of call it a waterfall effect or something like that. It's not the traditional spindle grille or design. And if you go for the F Sport variant, then you get the spindle grille. But with this one, you get this new style of design. And this is not black actually, this is a gunmetal gray, and I think the front of the NX looks really good. One thing I wanted to show you is the angle of the front. The way they have designed it is almost 90-degree over here, and it's a nice design feature. And in the center you have your Lexus badge with all the radar sensors included behind that. And this one does not have the front camera, it looks like, because this is the base model. Now that we're done with the grille, let's take a look at the side design over here. So you do have some gloss black over here with some plastic material over here, but it does look good. It does have fake vents though, which obviously it would have been better if they included some air breather design over here, so that it makes the air flow down the side and makes it more efficient. But you do have LED fog lamps as well. Then that gloss black continues all the way down here with that plastic bit, and it joins over here. And I think overall it does look pretty good, and I think this is one of my favorite Lexus designs overall after the LC. And now that we're done with the front, let's move on to the side. One thing I wanted to show, even the hood design has been changed. You can take a look over here. You have this nice creases in the hood, which makes it look muscular, but at the same time pretty classy as well. Now let's move to the side. So this one, like I told you, is the base model AH, and across the whole range you get 20-inch rims as standard. You can't get 19s or 21s, which I think 21s might have looked good, but I think this is a good compromise between large rims and the tire sidewall, because the more the sidewall you have, you'll get better comfort or ride quality. So this one has these black colored rims, or gunmetal gray you can tell, and I think these designs are a lot better looking than some of the rims that I've seen, especially the ones which you get on the higher end luxury trims, which I'll just put up a photo of. So the size of this particular rim over here is a 235 section, and it has a 50 series sidewall, that is this part, and it's a 20-inch rim, and I think it does look pretty good. It has a kind of a 5-spoke design but split into 2, so basically a 10-spoke design, but it does look good. In terms of suspension, I think it has adaptive suspension, I'm not sure though. And let's take a look at the side design now. So the side design of the NX I think is pretty good, especially the way they have profiled the rear angle over here. It has a sort of coupe shape, but not a fully coupe shape, something like the BMW X4, which I think is pretty good. I don't like the overly coupe styled SUVs. Then you can see the body lines are also pretty nice and sharp. You do have some creases across the body line and even at the rear over here, which I think is pretty good looking. You do have some plastic materials down below, or body cladding you can say, which I think is okay. And over here, the wheel arches are in body color as well, but I think this is optional. As standard, if you buy the NX, I think it comes with the body cladding in that same material over there, but that's it. Then we have the mirrors. You do have some chrome design over there. You have that same plastic trim and body colored up top. You have your indicators right over here, but this one does not have the 360-degree camera, so that's why there is no camera underneath the mirror. And obviously, being the hybrid, the fuel economy is one of the best. So you can see it's in the excellent plus, so 21.5 kilometer per liter, and it is all-wheel drive. So both the 350 and the 350h come as standard with all-wheel drive. Then you have your fuel filler cap. Let's move to the rear side, and I think this is one of the best looking designs that Lexus have done. And this is a similar style of light design which they have done on the new LX600 as well. I think this new design language that Lexus is doing now is one of my favorites overall. I think this looks a lot better than something like the BMW X4, even the Audi Q5, and overall this is one of my favorite looking SUVs on the market right now. So this is the light bar which goes all the way across, which you can see over here is lit up as well, and it looks really nice. There's no like bleed from the lights as well. It looks one nice clean strip, which is pretty good. Then this part over here has some 3 series elements in it. Then you have your indicators and reverse lights as well. One change that Lexus is doing now is they have removed that L-shaped badge, and instead of that badge they're writing Lexus like this, which I think is a pretty nice move, and it makes it feel a bit more upmarket. I think so. I think more manufacturers should do that. It looks really nice. Then here you have your NX350h with your all-wheel drive badge. One thing I don't like though is the windscreen wiper. I think they should have hidden it right over here underneath the third brake light, and it would have looked a lot cleaner with that. But overall the rear design is pretty good looking. Down below though, one good thing Lexus have done is they haven't added any fake exhaust. There is a fake vent because the body is overall pretty wide when compared to the previous NX, and it is longer as well than the previous NX. Then here you can see we have no fake exhaust, just some gloss black trim and flat black over here, which helps break the design down a bit from this rear. And overall I think the NX is one of the best looking SUVs on the market. So now that we're done with the exterior design, let's take a look at the boot space. And to open the boot, you obviously have a button right here, but on the base trims it's not electrically operated, it's manually operated. So I just hit a button and you have to manually push up the tailgate, which for the price the NX sits at, they should have added electric tailgate as standard. It shouldn't have been optional. But you can see the space is pretty nice and square shaped. You have a lot of room to keep your stuff. So you can see you have some nets over there, you do have some hooks all around, you have a 12-volt socket, you have some tethering points, and you have more hooks and tethering points over here. So the overall space of this boot is 545 liters, which is like 19.2 cubic feet, which I think is on par with the competition. And it does feel like it, that you can store a lot of stuff all around. Then we have the boot floor over here, which you can just pull up from here. You do have some storage space. You don't get a spare tire though, because I think it comes as standard on run flats, so that's why you don't get a spare tire. But you do have some nice amount of storage space, and this is where your battery is. So now you know everything about the boot space. Also, if you have this the boot cover over here, it's foldable, and you can just fold it and keep it underneath the boot floor itself if you want to utilize the full space over here. Also the seats are foldable, which I'll not do it though, but I don't have the exact figure of the boot space after folding down the rear seats though, because I couldn't find it anywhere. But if you want more space, you can obviously fold those seats down and push longer items all the way. And overall I think this is a pretty good amount of usable space. And now that we're done with the boot space, let's take a look at the engine bay. Okay, so before we go ahead and take a look at the engine bay, I wanted to show you all the specifications over here. So these are all the technical specifications that you need to know. So 4-cylinder inline with a hybrid battery, so 2.45 liters, 240 horsepower, and this is your max torque, 239 Newton meters of torque. So this torque figure that you see over here is not the combined torque figure with the 4-cylinder and the hybrid battery. It's just this is a torque figure only from the 4-cylinder. I don't know why they haven't given the combined torque figure, and I couldn't find it anywhere else on the internet as well. But that's it. Then you have your 0 to 100 7.7 seconds. Your top speed is 200 km per hour. They say it's an 8-speed automatic, but it's an electronic CVT transmission with 8 simulated gears. Then you have your 55 liter of fuel tank, and this is the gross vehicle weight, that is 2.3 tons. This is all your length, width, height, wheelbase. And also one more thing, the wheelbase has increased from the previous NX, and that's all. Now let's take a look at the engine bay. So here's your engine bay. It is on gas struts. So you can see you have your cover for your 2.5 liter 4-cylinder. You can see all the orange cables for the hybrid motor. So all-wheel drive, like I told you, the 350h is, and the engine is mated to an electronic CVT transmission. You have an electric motor at the back that is behind the rear seats, and also you have another electric motor, I believe, on over here, so that drives the front wheels. So together combined you get a 4-wheel drive. And if you go for the 350, you get a 2.4 liter turbo inline 4, like I told you, with 275 horsepower and 317 pound-feet of torque. And you get a proper 8-speed automatic transmission in that. And obviously it is a bit faster than this because it has more power and less weight, because it does not have the hybrid batteries. But I think if you want efficiency and you will be using the NX in your in the city, it's best to go with the hybrid. So now that we're done with the engine bay, let's take a look at the interior and the changes the Lexus have done over there. Okay guys, so now let's take a look at the interior. And one change they have done is, you can see these look like the normal door handles, but they are not physical door handles. They are electronic. I hope I can just show you the button inside. So there is a small button over here that you press, and then the door automatically opens for you, or basically the electronic door locks open, and that's how you enter the vehicle now. So there's no more physical handle. And I think if the battery dies down, there is some latch that is hidden under the door handle which you can remove and then access the manual hand lever or the manual door latch so that you can enter the car. But before, most of the time, I think it won't happen because this is a Toyota Lexus product. They don't very often break down, which is a pretty nice thing. And now let's take a look at the door trim first. So over here you can see we have some nice soft quality or soft touch material over here. It's not leather, it's just soft touch plastic, I believe, but the quality is pretty good. Then over here you can see we have some dark silver finishes, which I think is pretty good looking as well. And you have some you can say accented stuff over here. It's not wood, it's not metal, but it's black plastic or gloss black plastic with some, you can see, design elements into it, which I think is good, but it will catch a lot of fingerprints though, so do keep that in mind. Then here you can see I think this is real leather. I'm not sure though, because on the on the base model you get only synthetic leather, but I think that only comes in 3 color options: black, beige and brown. But since this has the red color interior, I think this is a leather package. The leather is nice and soft with your stitching, and you have some nice metallic over here, or metallic gray, which has some shiny bits in it. I hope I can just show that to you clearly. Then you have your window switches, your this is foldable mirrors as well that you can see over here, and you have your central locking. That's it. Then you can see this is your door latch to open the door, so you push it to open it. Since this is an electronic lock, you just push it once and it unlocks. If the battery dies down, you can just pull this 2 times and it will use the mechanical latch to open the door. Then down below, since this is a brand new car, it's covered in plastic, but I'll show you the lower parts over here. You do have some door storage over there, and you have that same soft touch material as the top. This one does not have the optional Mark Levinson audio. If you want, you can get that as an option. This one has the standard Lexus speaker system. You have some Lexus sill plates, and these are the standard seats that you get with the basic NX. If you go for the F Sport model, then you do get the F Sport sport seats. So they obviously look better, but I think in terms of comfort, these will be a lot better. They're obviously electronically operated with your lumbar adjustment, and I think this red color does look pretty good. One more thing, this is the button to open your fuel cap. You do have some storage space here as well. It's lined with felt, so whatever you keep inside won't scratch up. And now that's done, let's take a seat inside and we'll check out the interior. Okay, so I'm in the interior of the new NX, and I think what they have done over here is pretty nice, especially with the design of the main driver display and the infotainment display. It just looks really good. And this is something called Tozuna. It's a Japanese word for basically horse and the rider. So basically something like if you translate it properly, it means that when the rider is using the reins to control the horse. So what they mean is the whole design language intends to keep your hand on the driver's wheel and keep you looking forward, and anything else that you need to control will be done via your voice by saying hey Lexus and stuff. So that will be done through that. So they just want the driver to focus on driving and not get distracted by anything, and that's what this basically design language means, Tozuna. And let's start with the dashboard quality now. So dashboard quality, as expected, is pretty nice. You have soft touch materials all around. You can just check over there, and this dashboard and that material continues all the way over here, which again is pretty nice and soft. Then you do have some gloss black all around. Obviously you won't be touching that a lot, so it won't get a lot of fingerprints, but I believe it might get dusty, so do keep that in mind. You do have your odometer and trip meter controls right over here. Then this one basically has it has a digital driver's display, but it's not the 7-inch version which you get on the higher trim levels. The fuel meter and the, you can see, engine temperature meter are not fully integrated into the digital display. On the 7-inch display, that is integrated fully, which is obviously better, and it looks a lot it has a lot more animations and it looks a lot better as well. But this one does look good enough as well. So before we go ahead and talk about the driver's display, I wanted to talk about the steering wheel, which is obviously nice and wrapped in leather. Feels pretty good to the touch, and you have your paddle shifters here. Obviously this is a CVT transmission, so you have simulated gears and not actual gears, but the paddle shifters do feel good. You have your Lexus badge in the middle, and obviously it's not a shiny chrome, it is this nice brushed aluminum look. You have some more aluminum trim over here. Then you have your controls to obviously for your driver's display. You have your cruise control settings here, and this is for your mode button and to change between that. And you have your voice assistant, call functions, and volume rockers over here, or the volume buttons. Behind the steering wheel you do have your headlight controls, and here you have your wiper controls. And this particular steering wheel is manually adjustable, it's not electronically adjustable. You get that on the higher trim levels. This one does not have that. Now let's take a look at the display over here. So you can cycle across different things. So this one, you can see you have your fuel level over here. This is for your adaptive cruise. Then this is for your audio, and this is for your information, like basic stuff. So this is your fuel economy, then average speed, then distance to empty, then energy monitor. This is your G meter, and you have your blank space. Then I think if you press mode, you do get some things like your FM. So basically this is for your radio controls and nothing else. Then let's move on from the driver's display. One more thing, you can see you have your speedometer in the middle, and you have your eco and power settings over here. So basically, since this is a hybrid, it has that. If you go for the standard 350, you will have a proper speedometer. And if I change the driving modes, which the control is over here, so eco, normal, and sport, and I think I like the sport display a lot more. It does look really good. Okay, so now that we're done with the driver's display, let's take a look at the main display over here. So this is new for Lexus, and what they have done in this new system is that they've added a faster processor. You'll get over-the-air updates, and you have wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. It is easy to use. So this is your AM, FM, or basically your radio, and then this is your phone. This is your car settings. I think this one does not have navigation for some reason, I don't know why, but here you can check your driving assist, you can go back, then you have trip information, then you have your energy flow. So this shows you how much the battery is, or where the power is directed, or how you're getting the power, basically, like if the engine is being used or the battery is being used. Then you have all-wheel drive settings. This shows you where the power is being given by the all-wheel drive system. Then you have your tire pressure monitoring, and that's it. Then you have your settings, personal info, all that stuff you can configure from here. Like I told you, it has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, both of which are wireless, and obviously you can use that for navigation as well. But I think navigation is optional for some reason, I don't know why. This is the standard screen. It's a 9.8-inch screen, and if you go for the next level above this trim level, that is like the middle level one, you get the 14-inch full display, which obviously is a lot better. It has I think it has a faster processor as well than the 9.8-inch screen, and also these climate controls are integrated into that big screen as well. So all your displays and everything is integrated into that, which I think is good. But your climate control do feel pretty nice, and they don't have that clicky feel, but they are pretty high quality. And also your climate settings are integrated on the lower part of the screen itself. So you have more menu settings over here. You can see your lane departure, you can control that from here. Then you can turn on your climate control, and this is how you control your sliders, and this is how you control your temperature. Then you have your volume knob as well. Let's turn that off. And this is for, I think, your defroster for front and rear mirrors. And you have your vents at the bottom. Then over here you can see that leather trim continues all the way from here, and it comes here, and you can see my knee touches over there. And because it's leather and nice and soft, my knee, even if it bashes against it, it feels pretty comfortable. This is your drive mode selector, like I showed you. Okay, so here you have your storage space, which is pretty small, but you can store your small coins and stuff. You have your USB-C, USB-A, and you have some more storage space down below, and you have a 12-volt socket. Then this part, you can see you have some more storage for your phone. If you go for the higher trim levels, you do get a wireless charger as well, which you can hide like this, and I think that looks pretty good. Then you have some more gloss black trim. You have your cup holders, which I do like the design of. This is your electronic shifter, by the way, for your transmission, and it is covered in leather and it feels nice. Then you have your auto hold, your EV mode. Then this is to turn off your traction control, and I think this is for your off-road mode. And you have your electronic parking brake. And this has a rear backup camera as well, but since the car is turned off and I cannot turn it on inside the showroom, I cannot show you, but you do have a backup camera. And if you go for the above trim levels, you do get a full 360-degree view as well. Then you do have this nice armrest, which is obviously covered in leather. You can open it two ways, and this is nice, and you have a pretty good amount of storage. It is lined with felt, and like I told you, you can open it two ways from either side, which is pretty nice. Here you have your glove box, which is again lined with felt, and it's a decent size. So here you can see we have your rear view mirror. It does not have the basically digital camera view, but you can get that as an option, I believe, or it's only available on the higher trim levels. Then up top you have your light controls, so LED lights all around, which I think is pretty nice, and they're touch sensitive. And you have your controls for your sunroof as well, because you only have a small sunroof. For the higher trim levels do get a full length panoramic sunroof. Let's talk about space. So the space in the NX is obviously a bit less. If I'm being honest, it's a bit less than something like the BMW X4, which I have reviewed, and I have also reviewed the Q5 as well. So I do have an idea of the space. I feel a bit constricted in the NX. It's just, I think it's physically smaller than those cars. Despite having the sunroof, I have a good amount of headroom. But overall, in these seats, I am comfortable as well. But in my driving position, I feel a bit constricted or cramped. I had a lot more space in the BMW and the Audi as well, but overall I think the dashboard quality and the way this thing looks, and obviously the quality that Lexus gives or provides you, is a lot better than both of those vehicles. BMW obviously has a lot better quality materials as well, but I think the Lexus design for the interior is a bit unique. The BMW and the Audi interiors look a bit generic. I think this is a nice fresh look in this SUV segment. And now let's move on to the back seat and take a look over there. Okay, so here is the rear door trim, and basically the quality is similar to the front. You have that same gloss black material with the impressions or the design elements inside. You have your speaker here, and you have that electronic door latch over here as well. You have your window controls and locking system as well, and you do have that red leather right over here, which I think is pretty good looking. And this one, you can see you have your bottle holders, and the material is a bit scratchy, and the door storage space just seems a bit small to me. You only have space for some bottles, but over here this thing just feels a bit small. Then you have another speaker system over here. One thing though, the door opening is pretty small, and you don't have a lot of space, especially for someone of my size. I'm pretty tall and big as well, so you don't have a lot of space to get in if you're a bigger person. But if you're a smaller guy, I think you'll be easily fine. You can just take a look at the seats over here. You do have that same red leather material, and it looks pretty nice and soft. You do have an armrest as well, which is nice and soft as well. You do have your two cup holders in them, and I will try my best and try to sit inside, but I don't think I have a lot of space. Let me just try. Yeah, you see, I don't have a lot of space. The NX is a lot smaller than its competitors, and I had enough space to sit behind myself in the BMW X4 and the Q5 as well, but I do not have a lot of space in the NX, so it is a physically smaller vehicle. So do keep that in mind if you are a very tall person. Then I'll just show you some features, by the way. So you can see you have your AC vents over here. You do have a 12 volt socket and two USB-C ports as well, and you do have some storage at the seat back pockets. But you do have your lights up top, and I think that's it. And I do not have a lot of space. I cannot physically even sit in the passenger seat, which is quite forward as well. So taller passengers or taller people like me will have a problem. So I think that's all there is to show in the Lexus NX.
So that was the video, guys, on the 2022 Lexus NX. Overall, I'm pretty impressed by the NX. The exterior design is pretty good. Even the interior design and the material quality is really nice. One thing I was disappointed by is the space. It is not as spacious as something like the BMW X4 and Audi Q5, which it competes against. It is obviously a bit less expensive than those competitors, but overall, I think they do have a lot more space. For someone like me who's 6'4" or 195 centimeters, I think that's one issue that Lexus might have to address in when they update the NX. Unfortunately, I couldn't get to drive the NX because the NX just launched 1 week ago, and there are no test drive units available yet. But what I have read from the articles of other reviewers, they have all said good things about the Lexus's ride quality and driving dynamics. So I think that is some compensation for the things that I was disappointed in, like the space and stuff. But overall, I think it is a good SUV. You can't go wrong with a Lexus because of the build quality and stuff. I would highly suggest not to go for the base model because here in Saudi Arabia, especially the one that I reviewed, it did not have navigation. It did not have the 360 parking cameras. So a lot of stuff was missing. So do keep that in mind. And also, if you go for the higher end models, you do get that big center screen, the 14-inch one, not the 9.8-inch one that I had in my car over here. So do keep that in mind. And obviously, the price is something to consider. It is less expensive than the competitors as well. And one small piece of advice: if you're someone as tall as me, do check out the NX at the showrooms first. Do sit in it and see how you feel. If you feel comfortable, then go for it. I think it is overall a pretty good SUV, and with the hybrid especially, you get a pretty good fuel efficiency as well. So I think overall that's all I have to say in my verdict. If you enjoyed the video, guys, do leave a like and do subscribe to the channel as well, and do turn on the notifications so that you will be the first ones to know when I upload later videos. And thanks for watching, guys. Stay safe, stay healthy, and bye bye.